Hey everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome to a Skinny Man update video. It has been a long time since I did one of these videos, and as you might be able to see in this corner, the corner here, or I don't know, YouTube's compression might not be that favorable towards it. There have been a few updates since my last video. So in this video, we are going to be going over all the changes that have happened maybe since the last update video, or at least since 0.3, because I don't know when my last update video was and I'm too lazy to look it up. So anyhow, let's get into it. The first change that I have here on my list is one that I'm not going to be able to show you right now because I'm too lazy, but I'll just let you experience the magic for yourself. And that was that I added 3D stage types to level. You can, get there yourself and see what that means. Next up, I added levels 5 and 6, which you can see on the screen. I have currently not run through my thing at the moment, so can't get to them, but we'll come back to this later. Next, some fixes that happen. Okay. Second jump in level 2, being this the second platform right here. I fixed this because sometimes, for some reason, and I literally have no idea why, it was impossible to make the jump, but other times you could just barely make it. So that's now been fixed with a slight piece of center up there. Updated to a new version of processing, and therefore a new version of Java. Now if you are not downloading the Java included version of this game for Windows, you will have to have Java 11 or higher installed on your system in order for it to work. Next up, I added a glitch effect when you go through portals, and also do another thing which will come up later. Startup screen has now been changed to be 3D, which I can't show you now because recording that with OBS when the program just opened is a little bit of a challenge and I'm not willing to do that. Settings menu now has multiple screens. As you can see, we don't just have one screen with a whole bunch of settings, we have 3 different screens with different settings. And speaking of that, let's get into some of these setting changes. So first of all, we removed the screen scrolling location setting, and in change, we added the horizontal screen scrolling location and vertical screen scrolling location sliders, which you can adjust to your heart's content. And basically what these are, which hopefully is kind of obvious, is how far away from the edge of the screen, either side to side or up and down, does the screen actually scroll, and they are now different. So if you don't necessarily care vertically where it is, you'll set this number a bit lower. And however, if you really want to see what's coming next, you'll set the horizontal scrolling location higher. An advantage to splitting them off is now you can actually have a much more centered horizontal scrolling location without worrying about breaking the vertical screen scrolling, which would happen if you did essentially push the previous setting over 350. The next thing that I added was music, which I'm gonna turn that down a little bit here. It's pretty basic music that was just randomly generated from some samples, just randomly generating the pitches and lengths of the note and which notes are playing. Basically, I just recorded that for until the program that was generating it broke. And so yeah, it's just nice calm and relaxing music for the background. Maybe in the future I might actually be able to make some good music that I think will fit the game and add that instead. But for now, you get 3 tracks that kind of sound identical but are also unique because they're random. Along with that, we added these settings here for the music and sounds volume slider. Now, what sounds are is, well, there's currently 1 sound in the game, but hopefully there's going to be more in the future, and it's probably going to get changed in the future. But basically, when you complete a level, it'll play a sound. I recommend turning this down as it's actually kind of loud. But yeah, music volume, pretty self-explanatory. And then yes, that is all the changes that I at least noted down for 0.3. 0.3.1. This fixed one simple but kind of critical bug that I found out of, and it was kind of annoying, where if you had loaded up the game for the first time and tried to click play, the game would crash because it didn't actually generate the progressions file. I don't know how I don't remember how I screwed that up, but I did somehow screw that up. So, there's that. Then, moving on to 0.4.0. This will update, the gist of this update was optimizing the game to make it run much smoother in the background and theoretically have higher frame rates, although I think it is still frame rate capped to 60 at the moment, but whatever. Additionally, this featured a major rewrite of most of the actual level storage code, and that's what we're going to get into here. So the first change that I have listed here, and I'm just reading right off the change log, which comes in every copy of the game, so you can just look at this yourself if you do want to, is JSON arrays are no longer used for internally storing game objects and processing calculations. I literally said processing calculations. Okay, I meant processing collisions. Weird. But in human speaks, massively improved game performance can run on hopefully more devices now. It also doesn't, actually I think I fixed this a while ago, but doesn't need to continuously refresh and check the file over and over again, so for larger levels it should be better on slower disks. Next up, back in those 3D levels, which I'm not showing you right now, but you can see for yourself, we added a 3D shadow, but it's not a real shadow. It's basically like the player shadow in Minecraft, where it's just a circle beneath the player, or I guess an entity. And this is to help you keep track of where you actually are above the terrain when you're in 3D mode, as I actually physically found that as a problem. And the improved performance the improvements in performance afforded us enough extra performance that we could comfortably do a raycast to figure out where the ground is beneath you. So that's pretty cool. The next change on our list was one that you got a little sneak peek of earlier, but it is this giant press E text that is appearing here in the center of our screen. You may remember previously that this text actually just appeared above the player's head on the portal, but now it actually appears dead center in the center of your screen, telling you clearly to press E. Our next change occurred right here on the main menu, and you may not have noticed it as it's insignificant, but this bottom button here no longer says how to play. It now instead says tutorial. That's because we've added a narrated tutorial, which also goes along to our next setting here, which is the tutorial narration mode setting. And I'm kind of aware that the text here on the left is not quite aligned correctly with the text on the right. I'm too lazy to change that. But there are two different options for your tutorial narration mode. There is the please don't demonetize me YouTube mode and the better mode. You may be able to figure out what those different modes mean. Additionally, I will not be running through the tutorial here because, again, that is something you will have to experience yourself, because that is the probably best part of the experience of this game so far. Now on to 0.4.1. So, this is a minor update that just added some changes, and also something else that was actually pretty important. Fixed that the tutorial would no longer contribute to user progress, and you would actually have to still complete level 1 before you could move on to level 2 after completing the tutorial. And then we also added this little button down here. The UGC button, or user-generated content, or user-generated levels. It's actually, UGC stands for user-generated content, which is what this menu is. Now, that's all the patch notes say, but this is actually a little bit interesting. So we have a couple different options here. First of all, back. Second of all is open folder, which we will get to in a moment. And then the third one is create. If you click on create, you will be taken into a web browser, if OBS would, to my website where you can get the level creator developer tool thingy, whatever I call it, right here from GitHub. If you want to know more about creating levels here, I recommend that you just come download the level and create a new level, and then click the question mark button on the page that you land on after creating your level to be brought to a tutorial about how to make your level. Now, the open folder button, what this does is this opens the folder out which the game will actually check for levels. I don't know if you can see this right now. Hold up. Oh good, you can see this. So this is how you'll be able to play your levels in the game, or other levels that your friends or other strangers on the internet, I guess, have created. Simply put your level here, make sure that it's extracted and that make sure that it's not in any sort of compressed format, and that all the JSON files are in the folder that is the name of the level. Once that is done, like I was saying, once that is done, there is a folder here. You can't see it because I'm hiding part of the screen, but you can come back into the game. Simply go out of this menu and go back in here, and you can see that there is a level, the name of a level here you play. If you add multiple levels, there will be buttons that allow you to scroll through the different levels. And simply, then what you can do is simply just click play, and you will be put into the level that you have created. 0.4.2 was a more minor bug fix update, although it did fix a pretty critical crash. So the first thing that it fixed was, if you didn't already have the correct folders for the user-generated content created yet, it would crash when you attempted to go to this menu. I don't know how I managed to do that twice with critical files, but I did. And the other thing that was added, which was kind of prompted by that, was that if you do get a fatal error, there will be a small window that pops up with a whole bunch of details about the error. And basically, I can't show you that right now, obviously, because I can't create a fatal error, because this is a perfect game, obviously. But if for whatever reason you do end up getting a crash, what I recommend you do is you screenshot that window and then send that image along with a description of what you did just before that happened on the issues page in the GitHub, or failing that doesn't work, on the Discord, because that will also work, I guess. And then finally, 0.4.3, another minor bug fix update with some things that were just kind of annoying me. So the first thing is, this game is now fully, hopefully, compatible with Linux. I would test it, but the Linux laptop I have, or the laptop I put Linux on, is so old that there are no usable graphics drivers for it, and none of them actually want to install. So because this game has 3D components and uses OpenGL, I can't run it on that thing. So it's hopefully going to work. And if I find out it doesn't work on Linux, I will put out more updates that fix it. Next thing is, in the tutorial, when the narrator is talking about jumping, you will no longer be able to move. You'll have to play the tutorial to find out what I'm talking about there. And then another fix is that coins don't carry over between levels, because yeah, you're not supposed to have the coins from your last level and your current level. Anyhow, that is the most recent updates to Skinny Man. Actually, I did miss one, I just realized. Where was that? You can actually see it right now. See if you can spot it. Did you spot it? Well, if not, that's probably because it's right here, right in front of you in yellow. See, this now says early access instead of what it says previously. I don't know how I skipped over that in the changelog, but yeah, with whatever my previous system of labeling pre-full releases was, it was just getting very complicated and confusing, for me at least. And so I know that these days a lot of games just go say anything that's before the original release is just early access, so I'm also going to hop on that trend, because it's much easier to understand early access than, all these Greek letters spelled out in English letters. Anyhow, if you would like to download this game, there is a link to the website in the description. Besides that, I'm going to have to say thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe for more update videos, and also get videos on other games, primarily Minecraft, but who knows, other games. And heck, subscribe to my second channel as well for less important update videos, I guess, or just other things. And I will see you all in the next Skinny Man update video, probably on the second channel. Bye.